Oh man, we are making stuff now. So, here's the dilemma, right? Working in your garage, like yes, I have access to a lot of really handy, awesome tools at work. I don't have access to them. When I'm at home in my garage, I have to find, new and creative and fun ways to make sure when I'm assembling things, that things are going together, so everything will be lined up. So my front suspension, the way I have it drawn up and the way that I'm building it is, it's almost like all of the mount points are independent from the frame, and then this whole assembly will get slid in and then welded in once I have it in position. So it allows me to kind of like pre-build this part and then slide it into the car and then take my time to make sure everything is squared up inside the chassis, and then I can tack it in and then everything gets welded in and then reinforcement goes in. So what you see right here, this crazy thing with all thread and friggin' wig nuts, this is so I can build a thing that I know where everything lines up, and then attach this whole thing together and take it into the car. So this is the front suspension kind of like mount points that are going to go into the chassis. This is obviously on its side. It would go like this, not with all thread, but this is my adjustment range for the lower control arm. And then up here, there's another bar that's missing on top there. There's another bar that sits up here. And that would be the upper control arm mounting point. And those are both oversized, so that you can adjust your mounting height on the frame of your upper and lower control arm. Why would you want that? Because that allows you to adjust quite a few things geometrically on the car. Your front roll center, anti-dive, all that fun stuff. So basically by sliding what will be a Heim joint up and down on a grade 8 bolt that goes through here, that will adjust all those mounting positions. So anyway, right now what I have done is, you saw from an earlier video the flat cut parts that I got from Sen Cut Sen. So here's one of them. Last night I already got one of the tubes mounted, because by looking at the part you can see there's one, like it gets fixed in position. So I just went ahead and tacked that in. And then I just wanted to make sure that as I attach everything else, that these steel tubes, which are 1x1 square tube, 0.120, almost 1/8 inch thick steel wall tubes, they have holes that are drilled, kind of in a pretty precise location. And I want to make sure that everything lines up all the way around. So these are bolted together, and then when I go to attach the top ones will get bolted together before I weld it in. That way I kind of know everything like at least lines up. And then I'll use those bolt holes to kind of attach the two sides together with some plates that I've already cut, and that will actually make kind of a full assembly, and that's what gets slid into the frame. But for now, this one is kind of fit, and I'm pretty happy with how it looks. So I think it's time to, I'm mostly happy with how it looks. Right? Is this, I'll tack together real quick. Let's do it. I have to fill it. There it is. It's important to have a really clean workspace when you're inviting guests and family over, but when you're by yourself, dirty it up, right? This is what you want. This is the peak efficiency, is having your welding pliers trapped underneath this magnet, all that fun stuff. That's good. That is a sign of productivity. tell you, like, TIGging is tricky, but it is like the perfect, it's like the perfect tool if you want to just tack stuff together, because it's so fast and it's so clean. Let's get a couple more on this side. And also I started using blue tungsten a while ago, and it is awesome. Because it's like the all-purpose tungsten, right? Because they can do steel, they can do stainless, they can do aluminum. So I pretty much just leave that in the torch nowadays. Yeah. Flip it over to the other side. So that is a couple of tacks on each tube, just kind of keep everything in position. When I fit it together, it was pretty tight. I had to tap it in there with a hammer. So there's a lot of friction that's between the material too, but I also have, you can see my all thread with my wing nut pinching this together, just trying to keep everything tight until I can get it kind of like fully welded in. Remember, keep everything clean, kind of. I've also like beveled the steel a little bit, so I'm getting a pretty good connection. Although to be honest, this, you know, it's just 1/8 inch plate that these two plates I had from Suncut Sen. That's not going to be the only material that supports it's not going to be the only material that supports everything. It's really just there because it is somewhat structural, but is enough material that I can weld to it easily. And then once this gets, like I said, I'll put the full left and right side together and slide that whole thing into the car and then tack it together with a plate. And then once it's in the car, some extra tubes and reinforcement will attach the frame to these mount points. But for now, these are just kind of to hold everything together and be stiff enough and structural enough that nothing will warp as I finish welding everything out. A couple more right here real quick. Don't judge me. I am home taught on the welding. More. I don't know how much, like, I never really play with the settings on the welder too much. But I can tell you I have some post flow of gas. I don't know if I'm using too much or not enough, but there's definitely some. Anyway, so that should stay. See, that's what I'm saying. You don't want to have a clean workstation. You want it to be messy, so that stuff is falling all over the place. All right. See, everything lines up now. Everything's sewn together. Yeah, look at that. So that's the bottom. Let's see. This would be the front, I believe. That's the front. So this must be the right. This is the right side. Look at that. It's gonna go in the car just like that. How exciting is that? Cool, huh? So I need to get the other side welded up to this point, and then this top piece, because of the way it hits the frame, let me grab it. It is right here. It has this like crazy coat that I have to put on it. I did not design this well. It has this crazy coat that I have to put on it to get it to fit within the frame. So basically everything that's red right there has to go away. So I will spend some time tonight and tomorrow getting that all cut away, and then it can go inside, and then it welds in, just like that. Boom. So that'll be like a completed unit. Like I said, with the upper control mount, the lower control arm, upper control arm, lower control arm mounts, everything else in there. Everything's adjustable. So, all right, back to work for me. Hugs and kisses. Bye bye.